yeah.
All right, so we're diving deep into the Chimp Paradox today. If you've ever felt like there's this hidden force, like sabotaging your best intentions, this one's for you.
Yeah, it's a really interesting look at why we sometimes react in ways we kind of regret later.
Totally. Like, ever feel like there's a hidden gremlin messing things up?
Oh, yeah. This book calls it the chimp, which, when you think about it...
Makes a lot of sense. It's that impulsive, emotional part of us.
Right, and it's not about, like, being more logical all the time.
Yeah.
The book makes it clear our emotions are important.
But it's more about managing them, right? So we don't, accidentally set fire to our lives.
Exactly. And the book breaks down our minds into three parts. The chimp, the human, and then this one might surprise you, the computer.
Okay, the computer. I'm intrigued. So, let's say you get passed over for a promotion at work. Ouch, right?
The worst.
In that moment, your chimp, it's going into overdrive.
Totally. All those immediate feelings, anger, self-doubt, questioning if you're good enough, that's the chimp's domain.
And meanwhile, the human part of you, the rational side, is trying to, assess the situation calmly.
But the chimp is LOD, right?
Right.
It can drown out that human voice pretty easily.
Oh, for sure. And here's where the computer comes in, right? It's like all those beliefs and habits we've picked up, they're running in the background.
Exactly. Like those old tapes playing on repeat in our minds.
Like with the promotion thing, maybe your computer is playing that old message. You're not good enough, or you never get what you want. Ugh, it's so frustrating.
It's super common. A lot of us have those tapes. But the book says these things aren't set in stone.
Wait, so you're saying we can actually change those deep-seated beliefs?
That's the empowering part. We have more control than we think.
That is huge. So it's not just about understanding why we react the way we do. It's about actually having the tools to change it.
That's the whole point of the book. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we got to talk about calming the chimp down first.
Because, let's be honest, sometimes our inner chimp can be a real handful.
Oh, for sure. And one of the simplest but most effective ways to do that is just the power of pausing.
Really? Just hitting the pause button? How does that even work?
Think about it, though. That split second before you react, it can make all the difference. Instead of letting your chimp run wild.
You give your human a chance to take the wheel.
Exactly. Even a tiny pause creates space between the feeling and the reaction.
So, instead of instantly firing off that angry email when your coworker sends you something annoying?
You take a breath.
Right. Process it a bit.
Exactly. And this is where reframing comes in, too.
Reframing. Tell me more about that.
It's about challenging the story your chimp is telling you. That instant reaction, often exaggerated.
So instead of immediately thinking, my boss hates this project, I'm totally getting fired.
You ask yourself, is that really true? Or is my chimp just being dramatic?
So it's about looking at it through a more, objective lens.
Yes. And this is where understanding the computer part helps. Is your reaction based on facts, or is it those old files in your computer beliefs that might not even be true anymore?
It's like that inner voice. You're not good enough, or you'll never be able to do that. We were writing some down earlier. Any of those resonate with you?
Oh, I've got a whole collection.
Yep.
But the good news is those are just beliefs, and we can change them.
That's what we're going to dig into next, right? How to actually reprogram those negative beliefs and swap them for something more helpful.
That's the plan. Not about being perfect,
Yeah.
but about recognizing we have the power to choose.
This is exciting. We've talked about understanding the different parts of our minds, how to calm the chimp and reframe those thoughts. But before we jump into the how of changing those beliefs, I'm curious, what's one limiting belief that's been holding you back? We'll come back to this and talk about how to tackle it head on.
So we've got this awesome model now, the chimp, the human, the computer, and we've talked about calming the chimp down, reframing those negative thoughts. But how do we actually change those beliefs, those kind of deep-seated patterns in our computer?
That's where the real transformation happens. And luckily, this book gives us some really practical steps for what it calls reprogramming your computer.
Reprogramming.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that. So it's like, instead of just letting those old, dusty tapes play on repeat.
Exactly. You consciously start feeding your computer new information.
So instead of that old belief you wrote down earlier, you start replacing it with something new, something that actually helps you. What does that look like in real life, though? Think of it like updating your phone, right? You wouldn't keep using an app that constantly crashes. You get a new version, one that actually works. It's the same idea.
Okay, so you're installing those positive updates, but it's not just a one-time thing, right?
Definitely not. It's like working out a muscle. The more you use those new positive pathways, the stronger they get.
It's like creating a path in the woods. The more you walk it, the easier it gets.
Exactly. And just like with working out, there will be days when, it's tough. Your chimp might throw a fit and want to go back to those old habits.
Totally. Old habits die hard, as they say.
Yeah.
But you just got to keep practicing, right? Keep choosing the new response.
Exactly. And that's where the book's mind management routine can really make a difference. It's like a daily workout, but for your brain.
Okay, let's break down this mind management routine. The book makes it sound kind of revolutionary. What are the key parts?
It focuses on 4 main things: morning reflection, checking in with your chimp throughout the day, actively reprogramming your computer, and then a little end-of-day review.
Okay, starting with morning reflection. Why is that so important? What does that even look like?
So instead of waking up and letting your chimp dictate your mood, those Monday feelings, you start the day intentionally.
So you're kind of setting the tone for the whole day rather than just reacting to whatever gets thrown at you.
Exactly. Even taking a few minutes to be like, what kind of day do I want to have, can make a huge difference.
It's like giving your human a head start.
Exactly. Now, throughout the day, you want to do what the book calls chimp check-ins.
Chimp check-ins. I like it. Sounds simple enough.
It's all about self-awareness.
Yeah.
It's just taking a few seconds here and there to check in with yourself. Like, how am I feeling right now? Is my chimp freaking out about something?
That's about catching it early before it blows everything up.
Exactly. And if you notice your chimp is getting riled up, that's where those calming techniques come in, like deep breaths, reframing, whatever helps.
Right. Got to have those tools ready to go. Okay, so we're setting intentions, checking in with the chimp. What's next?
Now we get proactive, actively reprogramming the computer. This is where affirmations and visualizations come in.
Okay, break those down for us. Affirmations and visualizations, what are those exactly?
So an affirmation is basically a positive statement that you repeat to yourself like a mantra. You use it to counteract those negative beliefs.
So instead of thinking, I'm not good enough,
I am capable or I am worthy, the key is to make it personal, something that really resonates with you.
Love it. And what about visualizations? How do those work?
Visualizations are like creating a mini movie in your mind where you're the star and you're totally rocking it. It's seeing yourself embodying that positive belief.
So like if you're scared of public speaking, you'd visualize yourself giving an awesome presentation, feeling confident.
Exactly. And the more real you can make it, the more your brain starts to believe it's possible.
Whoa, that's powerful. It's like train your mind to expect success.
Exactly. And then to wrap up the mind management routine, we've got the end-of-day review, a chance to reflect on your day, celebrate those small wins.
So it's like checking in with your coach after the game, seeing what worked, what you can improve on for next time.
Exactly. It's about that growth mindset, recognizing that, mastering your mind is an ongoing journey.
It's really amazing, though, how these simple steps, this mind management routine, can make such a big difference. It's like we're finally, taking control back from, our inner gremlins.
That's exactly it. It reminds us that we're not just puppets to our chimp or those old limiting beliefs. We actually have choices,
We can hit the refresh button, install some new software. I love that analogy.
Right. And with any upgrade, it takes a little time. It's not magic, it's a process.
So there will be times when that chimp goes a little bananas, and that's okay.
Totally. We're not aiming for 0 negative thoughts ever again. That's not realistic. It's more about learning how to manage those thoughts, how to respond differently.
And something I think is super important. We're not trying to, get rid of the chimp completely, right?
No way. The chimp is part of what makes us, us. It's where our passion comes from, our creativity, all that good stuff.
So it's about finding that balance, right? Between the chimp, the human, and the computer all working together.
Exactly. Imagine what we can do when all those parts are on the same page.
Right. It makes you think about the impact it could have on, literally every part of our lives.
Yeah.
Relationships, work, everything.
And that's what I hope you take away from this deep dive today. You have the power to change your relationship with your own mind. And with this model, with the chimp, human, and computer, you have the tools to actually do it.
This has been such an awesome deep dive into the Chimp Paradox. I feel like we've only just scratched the surface, but in a good way. It feels empowering, not overwhelming.
And that's the whole point, to give you that foundation, to get you thinking, to get you started on your own journey.
Exactly. And remember, this is just the beginning. The real magic happens when you take these tools and start using them in your own life. Be patient, celebrate the small wins, even just those moments when you catch your chimp before it goes wild. And remember, you are in control. Now go out there and start rewriting your story.
Oh yeah.